biggest thing is like it's a select few of us. Like we're not, I guess, the powerhouses of the Carolinas and the Kansases and stuff like that. So it makes it even more special. But at the same time, coming from the Palouse, it like shows you have a level of grit in you. Like you have a level of like can't be stopped, I guess is what I can say, because it is so, I guess rare per se. And then like it also is great that I get on a team with another one in Jalen, so we're able to share experiences.
Welcome into the Inside WSU Athletics podcast, and we have an extra special episode today. Jon Haarlow is tied up this week. He is on the road at a conference, which means we have a very special guest host, our first ever guest host, and that distinction belongs to David Riley, head coach of the Cougar men's basketball team. Coach, how are you doing? It's great to catch up. How's life?
It's great. We're just getting ready to get started, and I'm just happy to be on here and filling in for Jon.
Well, we thank you for your time, and not only are you one heck of a guest host, I think you're an even better guest booker, because we have scheduled today Cedric Coward, fresh off of being named to the NBA All-Rookie team, going to join us here. We can't wait to get caught up with Cedric, and he's someone, Coach, who had his year at WSU. Unfortunately, that on-the-court time was cut short, but my goodness, what he has done. And I know that impact on his career, the time he had at WSU, and even before that, the time he had with you. It has been so fun to see him blossom and what he has been able to do in the NBA.
Absolutely. Just excited to share some of that story with you guys.
Well, Cedric will be coming up here soon because he is such a big guest. He will be our only guest this week, and we want to thank, as always, our presenting sponsor of the Inside WSU Athletics podcast, BECU. Since our last edition of the podcast, really exciting news to get caught up on. What a season it was for the Cougar baseball team. Specifically, what a run it was, winning the Mountain West Conference Championship, making it to the NCAA Regional, and just looking back since our last episode, beating number 7 Oregon State 3-2. That thrilling game. What a performance by Nick Lewis, and that could be said overall at the NCAA Regional on May 29th. Then falling to number 15 Oregon 4-0 in the NCAA Regional on May 30th, and the season coming to an end, facing Oregon State for that second time and falling to the Beavers on May 31st. But overall, what a season. Finished the campaign 31-28, including winning the Mountain West Tournament Championship, first NCAA tournament appearance for the program since 2010. Nick Lewis, Mountain West Conference Pitcher of the Year. He was the May National Pitcher of the Month and named to the ABCA All-West Region second team. So congrats to Coach Choate, everyone there with the program that made it such a thrilling run there. And then track, the latest for track. We're getting to the time of year where there's these updates are a little shorter because things are winding up for the spring seasons. But again, congrats to baseball and track. The update there, they're heading to the NCAA Outdoor Championships in Eugene. That's June 10th through the 13th. Rosemary Longisa, she will compete in the 1,500-meter run, and that's in the national semifinals. That's coming up on June 11th. And Carolyn Jepkorer will compete at the 3,000-meter steeplechase. That's Thursday, June 11th. Evans Crewy will represent the men and run in the national championship for the 10,000 and 5,000-meter events. That's Wednesday, June 10th, and probably happening about the time this comes out, and Friday, June 12th, respectively. And the finals for the women's event will take place Saturday, June 13th, pending qualification. So there's a lot going on, Coach, with Cougar Athletics for the spring sports, but I know there's never a slow time to be a basketball coach, right? You've got plenty on your plate this time of year.
Well, we're in the calm before the storm. Our guys get here on Sunday, and we'll start up next week.
Can't wait. And we will talk with someone who has donned the crimson and gray coming up and who continues to represent WSU so well. What a story there is. We're going to get into it with Cedric Coward. He will be our guest coming up right after this break from our sponsor, a word from our sponsor, BECU.
How do you spot a Coug in the wild? Head to toe crimson, gray, and, well, anything except purple? A A simple "Go Cougs" at an airport halfway around the globe, or maybe just a little pride from BECU and some extra money in your pocket when you pay for your tacos. Get the card Cougs everywhere recognize. Join today. BECU. Go Cougs.
Well, here we go. What a treat this is. Our next guest, someone that Cougs know all about, but just going over some of the accolades since this guy was back on the Palouse, named to the 2025-2026 NBA All-Rookie First Team, thriving with Memphis after being taken 11th overall. We got David Riley here, and Coach, we're joined now by Cedric Coward. Cedric, thank you for the time. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm great. It's always fun to have the chance to catch up with you. And I know, Coach and I were talking before this started about kind of your journey. And I know that with where you're at today, he kind of wanted to ask you about as you reflect back on your journey a bit.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot it.
Okay. Go ahead.
To be honest with you, I think a lot about my journey because you are a huge part of it. But to be honest with you, there's not much my journey is very unique, but it's not much different from other journeys I've either heard or you've probably been told. I think when it comes to journeys, it's just all about the choices you make and, what you're willing to sacrifice.
Well, I'm gonna take, this is my first time. I'm the rookie right now. I'm the host or the co-host, excuse me, of this deal. So I got a few questions that we went over. And I was just thinking, man, since the first time I got to watch you play was in a conference room watching my old boss play against you when you were at Willamette, and I do like to think that I played in that league, so I could have been playing against you back in the day. But I just kind of want to take you back. You were playing D3. You came to us your first year. You were our backup 4-man. You played some 3 and some wing a little bit that first year, and then you progressed all the way to a lottery pick. You were one of our primary ball handlers by your last year. I wish there was a few more games that last year. But I just wanted to kind of think what contributed to that progression, and what are some big things that you think really helped you go from where you were? And I know a lot of that was being unrecruited and underseen, but just getting better, obviously. What contributed to that?
Yeah, man. I think the main thing is I had different reasons for it at each stage. I think of Willamette, the thing that made me thrive was the fact that one, I was doing it kind of off the anger of not being recruited. I'm from Fresno, California. I got Fresno State in my backyard. I live 200 feet, from where they are. But for me, I wasn't recruited there. I wasn't even recruited Fresno City College. So it was one of those things where I felt disrespected in that part. But at the same time, I also you guys taught me this, live in reality. The reality was I wasn't ready to do it. I wasn't ready. I wasn't that type of player yet. So I was okay, cool. This is an opportunity I have at Willamette to show that I am that type of player, to show that, I can be one of the best players, not only just in this conference, but as I go forward to, hopefully jump to D1, which I ended up doing, even though the team success wasn't that well. And, as well as I do, all I care about is team success. So that whole year, it was cool. I was playing very well, but we weren't winning. So it was I was upset from the fact of we weren't winning. But at the same time, my dad told me before he left, when they dropped me off, he was look, play for where you want to go and not for where you are. Obviously focus on the day as one day at a time. But at the same time, you want to go to a level higher than this. So your habits and your play has to reflect that. And so I was okay. So, and that's something I take all the time. Obviously now, I'm at the highest level, but I'm not where I want to be in the highest level. I want to be the MVP, the multiple champion winner, what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So that's my goals right now, the habits I'm trying to build to become that. And, there's a lot of people I can talk to help along the way. But ultimately, like, it's been different. I would say really the anger of being under recruited was the biggest factor. I think the second year where it was funny because like I was undersized for, like you said. Honestly, I was just on the court, to be honest. I remember I went on my recruiting visit, and then after Willamette, I went home. I went back to Fresno for like a month maybe before I had to join you guys in June to do summer workout. And I remember I was talking to somebody, I'm not going to name them, but somebody very close to me. And I was telling them about the visit and how I was on it with LaJuan. And I love Juan, but at the same time, like Juan had a better body, like a better D1 body than I did at the time. Because I was like skinny. I was like 195, 6'5", super scrawny. But I remember they were telling me that like, hey, this first year, like I can see you redshirting, and maybe Juan, goes and plays because he has a better body. And I was like, okay, like, I don't take anything personal in the moment, but at the same time, I was like, all right, that's what you can think that. I mean, I'm not really tripping. And so as we went on and, went to the summer workouts, I realized, and that team that year was loaded. That's probably one of the best teams I've been on, like, ever. And to realize on that team, like, you can make an impact, you can play, you can, like, not really compete, but at very little times, I was like, I used to think I was the best player on the court, So it was like, for me, having that confidence allowed me to thrive and still go and, do what we needed to do, or do what I needed to do to, prove to you, Pedro, and, Mark and Coach O at the time, like you guys can play me and have trust in me. So I thought I did that, It was like, and it also taught me too, like, through the ups and downs of like a season. Like, cause I remember that season I started out really well. Like I was shooting the ball well. And don't get me wrong, like it was like 2 attempts a game, catch and shoot, stuff like that, finishing near the rim. But then I didn't shoot the ball well at the end of the year. And like I really started to get in my head about it. And I was like, damn, like, cause I remember I was on the plane to go to the Big Sky tournament with Pedro, looking at all my made shots because I hadn't hit a shot in like 3 games. And I remember like I was really in my head about it. Unfortunately, we ended up losing, but then we also had like a great run in the NIT, which is awesome. But yeah, I think the biggest thing was like that person telling me that was motivation, and also like proving to myself like I could do it. Like I can compete with these guys at that level. And then obviously moving into the third year, which was, I think most of it was just, I didn't want you guys to bring in anybody. Like I knew I could do that. And I looked at Jello, I looked at Reese, and I looked at Steele because they were our top 3 players. And I looked at all 3 of those guys, and I was like, if I develop my game and I lock in, I could do that. And it's like, and that's like bare minimum for me. So I talked to Pedro and I talked to you, and like mainly Pedro because I was the one working out with him, but talking to you guys and trying to see the vision of like where you guys wanted to go, what wanted to be done. And like you even told me, you were like, look, like this is the route we want to take in terms of like, we're going to let you guys develop, but at the same time, it's all up to you guys. Because if you don't, we're like, we got to do our jobs at the same time. So I was like, all right, that makes a lot of sense. And so that's where, T Club was formed because Pedro don't drink coffee. So coming in super early, staying late. Obviously we had our summer workouts. We're bringing in guys that you guys recruited, and I'm even coming later. So it was like that stuff that I did built my, tolerance for tough coaching, and also built my tolerance for not being successful. Like I think the first 3 weeks, because I was not a ball handler. I couldn't really handle the ball and stuff like that. So it was like I had to learn how to do all of that at the D1 level. And there was times I wanted to cuss and like probably punch Pedro in the face. But at the same time, it was like one of those things where he was doing it out of love. And, like the Spanish coaching, especially Pedro, he's fiery. So like he's getting on me and stuff like that. And that's why I love him, because like he was coaching me so tough that like I couldn't quit on myself, which I never was, but I couldn't quit on myself. But it was to the point where I knew it was out of love, and I knew like he believed I can do it just like I did. So that motivation led into that year. And then also it was awesome to see my work paying off, like as I got better and better. And then as the guys came back, I was building more and more connections with Dane and Ethan and Juan and Casey and all these guys that were returning. And like, even the guys we brought in, like we brought in Jake, we brought in Dre, we brought in Nick, like all these guys that like you can put yourself to the test against, you know. And it was awesome to see like that it was working. And, you know, like the favorite is, you know, Ellis. When me and Ellis used to battle in practice, that was my favorite because like he was short, but that dude is strong as an ox. Like it's crazy. But at the same time, it's like one of those things where you test, you know, you're battle tested. And then obviously as the year went on and the year came, I was confident, but at first I was forcing everything. Like I was trying to prove that it worked, and then it was showing that it didn't work. So I don't really know how to explain that, but it was so frustrating to see like the amount, like I had heck of turnovers. There was, you know, wasn't shooting the ball great. There was a lot of like just dumb decisions, stuff like that, where I was like, I know I just put this 4 months of work in. Why is like this happening? So it's like, you guys brought me in, told me to calm down. It's all going to happen like naturally. And then I think as you know best, I think we went on Christmas break. I think it was Christmas break. I think it was either the game before Christmas break or right after Christmas break or something like that. I came back and like, I remember over that week we were gone, or those couple of days we were gone. I was like, you know, I said, just play. Like, don't try to force, like you have more responsibility. So like you're naturally going to do what you wanted to do in terms of handle the ball and stuff like that. But at the same time, don't think you have to do it. Like just play. So then I came out and we played our first two Big Sky games and killed it. And then from there, obviously had a great year. Ended up winning that regular season championship. It upsets me that I have 2 seasons where I had 2 elite teams and we didn't win a Big Sky tourney championship. But at the same time, you know, it wasn't meant to be at the time. But I think those are probably the biggest things, I guess, in my journey that motivated me. And then obviously at Washington State, it was easy. It was one to help you guys help me. I think you guys moving to Washington State was huge. Like I already knew where I was going. I was getting recruited by many other schools. I knew where I was going. Like that wasn't ever the thing. And then obviously you guys needed, I guess, me, Ethan, you know, Dane and Juan to come build your guys' culture, or to help build you guys' culture, as well as I needed you guys to help me get to my goal, which is the NBA. So those were probably the main things. And, you know, like I even said, even though it was like 6 games, like everybody looks at the biggest up and down as like my shoulder injury, but it's not the actual injury that was the biggest like down. It was the fact that I couldn't play or practice. Like that was the fact of everything. And for me, I've never been hurt. I've never been, you know, somebody that like was out for a significant amount of time, and God forbid that happens again. But at the same time, like how to handle that, you have to have good people around you. You have to have people that believe in you around you. And for me, that was like, it was heartbreaking to hear that news, but it also helped when I came back from my surgery to have you guys there and like to be around the team. And like everybody was like, what really helped too was like you guys weren't always like, Ced, are you okay? Ced, are you okay? Like you asked me, like, Ced, you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And then never asked me again, which is like, it's actually more beneficial than you know it, because I don't really like I don't need to be taken care of, you know what I mean? And then obviously, like finally when I got the sling off and stuff like that, I was itching to come back. I was technically probably doing more than I should have and that I was ready for, but at the same time, like that's just who I am. I can't really control that. That's something. But nah, I would say in my journey, those are probably the biggest factors.
How do you spot a Coug in the wild? Head to toe crimson, gray, and, well, anything except purple? A simple go Cougs at an airport halfway around the globe? Or maybe just a little pride from BECU and some extra money in your pocket when you pay for your tacos. Get the card Cougs everywhere recognize. Join today. BECU. Go Cougs.
Man, there's a lot there. The story about the one having a better body than you, it all makes sense, because what I remember about that summer is that must have happened and you came back and we made a deal. I think you had to be a certain weight.
Yeah, I had to be
when you got back
205 in a month, or I had a lot of running to do. And I was like, it's not going to happen.
You may or may not have ate yourself sick the night before the weigh-in.
Yeah, I ate myself, like I was very sick. I can say like that because I ate a lot. But I think the worst part was like I ended up coming back, and although I didn't run, I ended up straining my calves. So
Right.
It was like from there, it was like I put all the weight on, but I didn't let my body get used to it, because like I was so worried about like I don't want to run instead of like said put the weight on and then let your body get used to it and play at the same time. Because all I did that whole month was eat and lift. That's all I did. Like I played on the court a couple times, but it was mainly eat and lift. So I think that's something like I'll never do again. I always, let my body get used to it. But at the same time, you live and you learn.
No, there's some real fun stories in those times you mentioned. And one thing that we you didn't talk about, but I just want to make sure and see these guys do. Now that you're in the NBA, you got a tougher travel schedule. I know you got a little time off now. You still designing shoes or cooking? Do you find any time to yourself at all?
Yeah, I think like in this league, you have to. I think it's like one of those things where we're gone for so long at times. Like sometimes you'll have, a 1-day road trip or 2-day road trip, but at the same time, you're gone for so long. And you have to find stuff outside of the game of basketball, because not for me, but for some people, it can get sickening in terms of like, we're always around the game. You're always at practice. You're always at games. You're always at shoot around, stuff like that. And for me, look, I don't have a problem with it. But at the same time, like, you need something outside of that. So for me, like designing shoes has always been a part of my life and what I've been doing. Now I just design shoes for myself. Like if I want to show what I can wear on the court, you know what I mean? Like I ain't got the business no more. I ain't got time for that. But at the same time, I'm designing shoes for myself in terms of like what I want to wear on the court. So you'll see a couple different things that I'll design. I'm actually designing one right now. So it's like I'll design something and wear it on the court. I might wear these for Summer League. I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. But that cooking as well, like you said, like I have a chef, which is, I'm grateful for her. But at the same time, like she don't come every day because I still like to cook. I still like to get in the kitchen, make what I want to make, and, stuff like that. I've learned how to make it healthier and cleaner around the kitchen. So that's great. But at the same time, I'm still doing all that stuff because you have to find stuff outside of here.
I remember it was great. The coaches loved it when you made your cookies, but we had, especially Lawan, he'd be eating those red velvet cookies and going to town on those things. But you had your days when you were bringing some cookies into the team. Ced cooked our pregame meal at times. I'm glad you're probably figuring out some healthier oils to cook with, because I remember you were transporting oil back and forth. Yeah,
avocado oil.
I like it. Well, I got one more for you. You got any? Do you have a welcome to the NBA moment from this year?
Yeah. So my welcome to the NBA moment was, I think it was the 4th game of the year. We played Golden State in Golden State.
I watched that game.
It's Steph Curry on that side of the court. And for me, watching Steph Curry, because like in my era, like he's the greatest shooter of all time. One of to me, second greatest point guard of all time. So you obviously have that to go against. But at the same time, you have the crowd to go against. And obviously, we know Curry for making all the dribble moves and shooting from anywhere and then going in on people. And you're like, oh my gosh, that person looks so embarrassed, stuff like that. So you laugh at it until it happens to you. So I remember it was the left wing. I was guarding Steph. He hit me with a series of dribble moves, stepped back, shot it. Like, and I mean, he was probably two feet behind the line. He shot it, and I swear I blocked it. Like, I swear I felt the wind on my fingertips. And then I turned around, and as I turn around, I see the ball go in, and I turn back around super fast and run down the court, and he's doing like the light shimmy, and I was like, damn, like it was one of those moments where you watch it so much on TV, you like, nah, that couldn't be me, and here I was. It was me. And the worst part is we lost the game. So I had to, I couldn't get him back in that regard. But at the same time, man, I mean, like you said, it's one of those moments you're going to have a moment like that. It's not going to be the last time he hits a shot on me like that. But at the same time, you learn how to, I guess, deal with it in a way. And then as I go on further and further and playing more and more, I'll learn how to guard it better.
This is all such incredible stuff, Cedric, and it's so much fun to get a catch up. I want to ask Coach a question here as we think back about your time at WSU, and unfortunately the amount that you were able to be on the court was cut short due to that injury. But Coach, what do you remember most about Cedric and him being here in Pullman?
Well, that first summer and fall was really pivotal for our guys to understand what we're trying to do here, and I just remember him coming back. He's working out down in LA all spring, kind of getting ready. Came back a lot bigger, a little stronger, and it was just every day it seemed like a different NBA team was coming, different scout was coming to town and coming to watch him and see his improvement. And so, everyone always ask me, like, is his rise in the draft surprising and all these different things, and I'm sure it was more surprising to everyone else outside, but we had seen the work, we had seen how much he improved throughout the summer, throughout the fall, and what he was doing out there. And those NBA scouts, they're paid to do their job well, and they saw the vision, and I just think it was really cool to kind of see his progression that offseason, because everyone got to see the results the previous year of how much better he got when he moved kind of from the inside to the outside, and what he was getting ready to do his year at Wazoo was incredible. So I just think watching that progression was really fun to see, and then just seeing him progress as a man when he got injured, and how to be a leader and how to talk to guys and how to find the little details in the game that as coaches we find them fun. I'm sure most players having to watch film and watch from the bench is a little agonizing, but I think he found some benefit to that as well. And just it was a whirlwind of a year for all of us, and I do remember that year being eye-opening to see how many NBA teams were out here doing their homework, and they got it right.
And Cedric, for you, obviously you're around that Cougar pride in the NBA. Even you get to experience that at the highest level. But how is it? Coug fans are so proud of you and what you've been able to do. And I mean, your story is just so inspiring, and your work ethic, your dedication. Just the start of this interview, hearing how laser focused you are. But how is it being able to represent WSU at the highest level?
No, it's great, man. I think like the biggest thing is like there's a select few of us. Like we're not, I guess, the powerhouses of the Carolinas and the Kansases and stuff like that. So it makes it even more special. But at the same time, coming from the Palouse, it like shows you have a level of grit in you. Like you have a level of like it can't be stopped, I guess is what I can say, because it is so, I guess rare per se. And then like it also is great that I get on a team with another one in Jalen, so we're able to share experiences and stuff like that. But ultimately, man, it's like one of those things where I have utmost respect for everybody at Wazoo. Obviously, Dave P and Jerry and Don and all those guys are there, George, all those guys are there, and I got utmost respect and love for them. But at the same time, like my time, although cut short on the court, like I have nothing bad to say.
Coach, before we let Cedric go, obviously he's got a lot going on. Just the floor is yours. Any final thoughts for Cedric?
Well, I got Cedric's NBA knowledge is pretty incredible. I think you can name it the MVPs all the way back to, I don't know if it was the 80s or 70s, but before we do that, we don't need to hear all that. We don't need you ranting that off. You got a pick. You got anyone you think's gonna win the Spurs, the Knicks right now?
I had the Knicks winning in 6. That's me personally.
Okay, We'll see about that.
And Cedric, just one final thought as Coach brings that up. I remember when you were a guest on the Cougar Basketball Hour, I was quizzing you on how far back your knowledge goes. Just so people know, how far back can you name every NBA champion and every NBA MVP?
NBA champion? NBA champion probably to the Celtics, like first one, like in like the early 60s. And NBA MVP for sure until like 70, either 77 or 80, like one of the two. I get a little murky in 79, 78, but like I know 77 was, Bill Walton, and then from there it gets a little murky. Wes Unseld is in there somewhere, but
Sonics are in there too.
Yeah. So there's somebody, there's people in there, but at the same time, like I just, I'm a fan of the game, so it's just I retain that information. That's one of the, I guess, the unique facts I know.
You are a true student of the game, Cedric. This is awesome. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it. Continued best of luck. It's been so much fun cheering you on. And again, thanks for the time to chat today, and go Cougs.
Yes, sir. Go Cougs. Thank you, guys.
Well, big thanks not only to Cedric Coward, but to Coach Riley for pinch hitting for Jon Haarlow here on this episode. Thanks to our sponsor, BECU. That will do it for this week's edition of the Inside WSU Athletics podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and go Cougs.